Here we go. Oh, we gotta knock at the door. Hey, what up, y'all? This is Love Amplified, and you know what I'm saying, it should be a familiar voice. We're a little bit late, but you know what I'm saying, we always on time, if you know what I mean. We got a special guest in the building. We got
halfway
that are coming in the door, and I'm about to find me some background music because I want y'all to be able to feel me as I'm talking, and I need y'all to have a groove. I need a background track so y'all don't just hear the ambient sound of my voice. Yeah, so today I took my kids to see Toy Story for me and my wife. I'm going to introduce our guests. I'm trying to do a couple things simultaneously, but you know, you might hear some other voices in the background, but don't pay attention to that just yet. Pulling up all the info. Let's see. So yeah, we went to go see Toy Story. I love Toy Story. It almost brought me to tears, you know, once again, as usual. And then we, you know, it was just, it was good. It's always good vibes with the Pixar family. They need to make sure. Actually, everything is being heard. Come over here right quick. I need you to make sure. What's up?
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's Akila Trinae.
Well,
Now I'm going to move from the mic.
yeah. Keela Trinae walked in. Need to make sure y'all hearing me. Is this going in right? And then why can't I hear that? That YouTube. I can't hear this.
You said you can't?
Is this another track that I muted?
Oh, that's why.
Did I mute it?
Let me see.
All right, that was a lot louder than I wanted it to be. All right, but I do like the vibe, so I'm gonna try to get it down a little bit lower. But yeah, all right, guys.
Right there. That's a good level.
Yeah, that's perfect levels. Now we on the vibe. Now I don't feel so. Now I'm feeling a lot better. You know, this is the chill vibes right now, and it's perfect for the Sunday. So what up, y'all? You know, it took a little bit, but we here. It's a Sunday evening, and we got some of the dopest people out of Skyline High School. You know what I'm saying? Out of East Oakland, California. And we just gonna have like a dope convo about, you know what I'm saying, what the heck is going on. You know, just in the world with health, with mental health, because that's, you know, health is wealth. And so we're going to have this convo. Shout out to Akila Trinae pulling up on us. We got DJ Ree. He pulled up as a long time special guest. I was in the parking lot. I thought he was going to jump me or something. No, he pulled up on me. But yeah, so let's chop it up, and then Akila, I want you to do our you know, our intro, since you always do the dope.
I'm the intro queen.
Yeah, for the the
last time.
Yeah, you always come through in the clutch.
Oh, okay. Is it time for me now?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Good News Radio family. Well, we have a special guest, as Charles so eloquently stated. Hearing Hope and Healing, the Kevin Berthia story. Kevin Berthia is a suicide survivor and prevention advocate. Kevin was born with a genetic major depression disorder, which he inherited from his biological mother. In 2005, at the age of 22, Kevin attempted to take his own life by jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge. It wasn't until 8 years after his attempt that Kevin was reunited with the officer who talked him back to safety. Since then, Kevin's story of hope has touched a diverse group of audiences all around the world. Kevin has had the opportunity to share his story with several magazine outlets along with local and national news stations. Kevin's story was also featured on The Steve Harvey Show. The photo of him standing on the cord was front page of the San Francisco Chronicle and placed on the 75 most iconic photos of the 21st century. Kevin believes that having attempted suicide plays a major role in the prevention of additional suicides. No one knows more about the darkness that surrounds suicide than those who have walked in its shadow. So, without any further ado, we'd like for you to help welcome to Love Amplify. Are you going to the effects?
Yeah.
So you can give the hand clap that's right to the right, over there
man.
to the right, other
right
side. Yeah, without any further ado, we want to welcome Kevin Berthia to
There is? I don't know.
that.
I gotta work on my engineering skills. There's the hand clap. Appreciate you doing that. Appreciate you pulling up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you was able to be here and sharing your story. Like, what is that experience like when you hear your bio on the radio being read? Like, what's that experience like?
Still, man, I never get caught up in that bio, man. I always, I give God glory first. Man, it's been an amazing journey. Just grateful for the opportunity just to be able to share it. That testimony is just, like I tell her, we all got a testimony, but people want to hear mine. So it's just the opportunity to share it. Every time I share it, it's just, it helps me heal. It helps somebody else heal. So it's just a great thing.
Dope. And like when you are talking to people and like inspiring them to continue to keep going, like how does that help you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that like?
I've really found a purpose in this. So for anything else, it gives me hope and it gives me understanding and heals. It gives me opportunity to heal from a lot of things, just to help somebody that was in the same shoes as me. Just to kind of relate to them, to understand where they coming from, where they at right there, and it just kind of can relate to them and help them out. I mean, it helps us both out. I get more out of it than they probably will ever do, and that's what people don't understand.
Yeah, definitely. And what was some key like contributors to like you being able to overcome your struggles?
I had a lot, man. I had to identify that I had an issue, accept it really, because being that where we from, Oakland, California, and mental health ain't something that we talk about. Ain't something that ain't in our face that we identify to. So I had to first identify and accept that it was okay for me to be an African American man that had depression and dealt with this mental health. That was the first thing. Once I accepted it, and I had to realize, it is things that I can cope from and things that I can heal from. Just recovery things that I can find, therapy, prayer. I mean, it's just a lot of different things that I have to do, but I can heal from it. I can move on from it. It's not something I'm stuck with the rest of my life, and I just have to deal with it on my own.
Yeah.
So I just want to chime in for a second because a couple of things happened as far as us getting to this day today. Well, I know you first, Charles, you emailed me, like different people that I'm emailing to set up meetings with or whatever. And then I wasn't even, thinking about the people that I'm emailing. And then when you responded to me and I saw Kevin Berthia, I was like, wait a minute, I know Kevin. And then I was just like, okay, that was just random because my initial email was like more like general, okay, this is crazy. And then I was talking to my sister because I had to like go back in time in my head. And I was like, wait a minute, that's Kevin who, and I'm not going to put everything out there. But and I was like, and then she was like, yeah. And then I was like, isn't that crazy? And then I was talking to B. Sanders, shout out to him, and he was telling me about his app that
I just saw that.
That he was created before he did the post. So we were talking about it because of May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I was mentioning to him, like, man, I wish I would have known, because then I could have had you to come out to the school, because at the time I was working at a high school, to, you know, speak to the kids or whatever. But that had passed, and then I was like, oh, wait, you should come on to the show today, this Sunday. It was super last minute. And he was like, he was going to try to come, but then he told me he had known you since y'all was like little.
Yeah, well, I've been knowing my whole life, man.
And then I was just like, oh, wow. I mean, obviously, you know, being from Oakland is small, but I was just kind of, and we all went to the same high school, but I was just kind of like, wow, like, that's crazy that it kind of just like the circle, you know what I mean? And just when you find out about how people are going through certain things, and this was a separate conversation I was having with somebody else where it was like, you can see people every single day and have conversations with them, and you might be like, oh, how are you doing? You really don't care to know, like, how they're really doing, or you're not invested in what that answer may be. Yeah. And then you find out, you know, that somebody is going through, or that they're suicidal, or that they're in deep depression. Later on, you're like, wow, you know, I just saw this person the other day, or I just had a conversation with this person the other day, and then you think, like, what more could I have said or done, or even just really saw the value in people and those opportunities when we do cross paths, to really be genuine about, you know, people's well-being.
And I think that's what it is. I think that's just when we do cross paths, people are really just seeing the value, like you said, just the value in every individual, and understand that people are dealing with some real tough issues.
Carrying a whole lot.
And it's not you're not going to see it. Because we're good at
like, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm fine. And I was sharing with I think my sister, and I was telling her, because we had training after school was out, and it was a mental health training specifically on suicide. And I had already done the training before, so I ended up leaving early, but they were you know, they go through this whole process, and then they're telling the story of one of the guys, I forget his name right now, who is one of the few that actually jumped and survived.
That's Kevin Hines.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's Kevin Hines.
Yes, it's Kevin Hines. You're absolutely right. Right? And so he was kind of sharing his story about how, you know, he had, you know, had a conversation with his dad. He, you know, got on the bus. He was crying on the bus. He walked past someone. He said somebody asked him to, you know, take a photo. And at no point did anybody say, you know, how are you doing, or are you okay? And he said, if somebody would have taken the time to ask me or stop me or say something, you know, I would have turned around and I wouldn't have done it, and I wouldn't have jumped and all the other stuff. And so that's kind of what made me think about just how, you know, you cross paths, and we're talking to people, and we're seeing people, and we're not necessarily saying anything. And I don't know if it's just out of fear, like, okay, that's not my business. I don't want I don't have time. You know what I mean? I got to get to here, there, and everywhere. So if they really do have an issue, it's like, oh, okay, well, hurry up. You know what I mean? I got these other things I need to do. But it really just had me thinking for a moment, because I don't think I was aware. My sister said that I was, but I don't think I was really aware of all that, you know, that you were carrying or going through and all of that. And to be connected with a person who has that story is just crazy. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
You know, like for myself, you know, I was great because of where I come from. I was great at basking it. I was great at keeping it like it was. I never wanted anybody to know that I had a problem.
Right.
You know? I mean, you know, we from the town, you know.
Right.
Town biz.
It ain't gonna be no, you know, oh, that's crack. You know, that's labeled as crack. I mean, because that's what we know it as. We don't know it as we can suffer from it just like everybody else. We take it on, and growing up in the generation we grow up as, we label it as this. So nobody wants to be labeled as this.
Right.
Your reputation is everything. Like that's all we have. I like that one.
You testing things out. Charles over there experimenting.
I'm trying to do my ad libs.
Right. I'm about to turn on the AC too.
I have a question. Can you explain to us how important it is for someone to come up to you and just to see how you're doing in your life? Just
I mean, it's you would be surprised how many people don't have anybody to check on them.
Right.
We think we take it for granted, and we think that, you know, oh, that's something small. It's not small, because millions. I mean, if you figure it's, you know, 8 billion people on this planet, it's millions of people that go every single day without anybody checking on them.
Right.
That's a lot of people for somebody not to have checked on them. So I think that if we understand and look at it from a number standpoint, you know, millions of people suffer from nobody checking on them. So that means millions of other people need to step up. We have to. I mean, it's something so small as, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? I mean, we have time for this. I mean, you know, I see, you know, 86,400 seconds in a day. I mean, we don't have we don't have 60 seconds to check on people. Like, come on, man.
Right.
I beg to differ. So I think that it's important because people need to feel that their value is there, that they're important, that people care about them. I mean, even strangers. I mean, you know, it's hard for loved ones to always check on loved ones because we so busy day to day. That's why it's important for all of us. You know, the people that don't look like us, the people that, you know, are in community, or the people that, like I say, it's all about all of us coming together. Mm-hmm. It's not just you know, because I'm checking on you because I know you. I'm checking, you know, I'm checking on you because you're human. You know,
and
when I
you deserve it.
Like, so for me, when I personally seen the photo, I was like many people, probably just like in a sense where I was just like, wow, you like you say, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Because in just in our impression, that's Detroit. Detroit just walked in the building. I'm gonna try to give you some hand claps. Maybe somebody hearing this.
Is he muted?
Yeah. Dang, man.
Make sure he's not muted.
This thing is not. Whoever told some. All right. Tried it. Let's see. How do I get
He's
this?
number 4.
I'm just pressing buttons at this point. Go ahead.
There you go.
Talk.
He's good.
Check.
All right, here we go. Hey,
You can turn him down a little bit.
I'm about to be a doggone engineer by the end of the day.
Don't do that.
I took your job. I took your job now.
I have at it.
Slide over so you ain't in all in my
I'm not. I got you.
You know, so you ain't in my camera view.
I got you.
But yeah, man. So basically, it was what went through my mind was just like how you never know. So it's a documentary I seen a while back, and it's called Bridges or something.
Yeah.
There's people that was jumping, and I was just like, was it in a sense that some of the people that I would see, they would have like some people would be on the phone, right, with a loved one or someone close to them, and then in my mind, something that stuck out was just like, what was it? What was that last conversation with? And was it possible for the other person to help them? You know what I'm saying? Would it be possible for them to say something to prevent that from happening, or is it just like is there a point where it's just no return, or is it just like a point?
It's always a return. I believe that no. I go out on a limb here. Okay. People in a dark place, you know, it's a sense of I have to do this. I have no other choice. Yeah. I have exhausted every possible reasoning to move forward from where I'm at, and I can't do it no more. But it's all. But if you give me another reason, if you find me something else that I haven't thought about.
Then
that's why.
Yeah, and what was
there also
important
signs.
to follow up? Then what was your thing that you held on to that was your?
It took a lot. It took a while for me. I already had jumped the railing, so for me it was in that I was on the bridge for 96 minutes on that railing, and in those 92 minutes of Officer Briggs, my first responder, actually speaking to me, he just listened to me, and in that conversation, you know, the pain of my being a father came out to where that was the pinpoint of what brought me to the bridge, and that was going to get me back over. But
out of curiosity, why the bridge?
You know what?
Because you could have got a gun. You know what I mean? Or I could
have won 100,000 other places. I could.
Right.
We something that I'm still struggle to this day to understand.
Why
is it a bridge you crossed? I mean, like, did you cross it often?
That first day, the first day I drove to the bridge was the first time I ever been to the bridge. I never thought about the bridge. I never knew it was like iconic for suicide attempts. Yeah. To be honest, I thought I was going to be the first person to jump off this bridge. Like, I didn't know. I knew nothing about it, so that's why it's still to this day. I still try to understand.
Yeah. I feel like with you saying that, I feel like, and because one of the things that you said was thanking God, and I feel like with you saying that had to be why. Yeah, you know, it was a spiritual thing. Like, there was no other place you could have gone because you would have been gone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in order to see purpose and value in your own life, you know what I mean, you had to be brought to a place where you had never been before. Yeah. And so instead of it being like, okay, I cross this bridge all the time, or I heard about, you know, people jumping from here, it was like, no, literally, God led you there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I can't. Absolutely. Undeniably, absolutely. Because it was never a thought. Like, most people, I've talked to people, I mean, I've talked to since I've been to the bridge. Of course, I've had to talk to a lot of different families. People have thought about this for weeks, months, years, planned this. You know, this is not a spur. There's very few. I've never heard a case like mine on the day, spur of the moment, right then and there. I haven't not heard one case. So for me, it's mind boggling. So I have to do nothing but to say, okay, this is definitely all right. You put me here. And now I have to figure out why, like, you know, moving forward, why. And then now in the process of the last couple of years, I've been finding out the why part. Yeah. But before that, I didn't know why, you know, because it's still, you know, now my secret is out. That's all I got from it. Like, you know, when I came home, seeing that picture on the front page of the paper, I can't no longer hide no more.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, everybody that knows, you see the back of me, but my friends and close people that know me, they know me. Yeah.
Right.
I can't lie no more. So now who do I go back to? You know, I can't put on this front man, Kev, the life of the party that got it all together. People, you know, from Skyline, people that grew up with me never even seen me upset before.
Yeah,
so
you smiling.
Exactly. I mean, you know, I was the king of clowns. I was the king of, you know, that was just me. So to go from that and you go to the bridge, that's huge. That's not. People don't go to the bridge. That's a big difference. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
people don't go to the bridge. Like, you know, that's a huge. But they don't know. This has been years of this. It's not just the bridge. Just wasn't my first day. That's just my coming out to the world. Yeah, like, you know. But it's been a struggle my whole life. So.
And then my one thing I would just say is, like, what is it that through this journey, like, what was the what's your biggest like eye-opening kind of thing to say, like is it, do you have like an aha moment out of this whole situation?
I mean, I think I don't know. I think People Magazine was big. I think because it happened so early. Mm-hmm. Like I went to New York in May of 2013. I still didn't know what all this was about, where this all was going to come. Mm-hmm. And then I think in October of 2013, which is, you know, a couple months later, I was doing a People Magazine spread, going back to the bridge for the second time ever in life. And actually now I'm on, and I remember going inside of 7-Eleven and people saying, "Hey, aren't you the man that was in the People Mag?" I mean, that was I mean, you know, because you're inside of People Mag, but for me, it's still like, okay, that's not, you know, but that in that moment then, at that time, that was pretty. Yeah,
like, because, you know, right now, last time I was like, right now, it's like it's a renaissance in this, so to speak, in the black community of mental health. Like, we're all young black people, but we're all sitting around talking about, having a conversation about mental health, depression, and things of that nature that we all go through. But like Charlamagne is somebody I listen to a lot, podcasts, Brilliant Idiots, and things of that nature. And I just hear, like, he has a book, you know, Anxiety, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, right? So he has a whole book. Steph Curry read the book. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Iguodala was on there recently talking about how he's Steph Curry. He was like, oh, he listened to the book. I actually listened to the book myself. But it's like, he was like, Iguodala's promoting his book. And he's like, I didn't really think that Steph Curry would read Charlamagne's book about mental health. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, we all going through stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we all trying to figure it out.
We're finally cracking that mode of talking about it.
Yeah, and it's more,
and we talking about it on a platform that needs to be talked about. I mean, you know, you figure Charlamagne, a lot of people here listen to him, follow him, talk about it so people can come out and they say, okay, well, Charlamagne talking about it, we must need to talk about it. But we did need to talk about it.
And how does that make you, to see people talking about it, writing about it, expressing what they're going through, anxiety, things of that nature, like how, like seeing it from in this time now, like how does that affect you?
I mean, it just blows my mind because you figure I went all these years without saying anything. So when I came out in 2013 for the first time and really started putting a name to the face, because that picture has been floating around the internet for years. I just finally put a name to the face, and I just said, okay, it's me. And after that, it just kind of took off from that because nobody knew that was me. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. I accepted it. So I took accountability for that. And ever since then, to know that there's so many different people who struggle like me, man, it's just like, I lived in a world I thought I was so alone. Yeah. To know there's millions of people just like me that struggle every single day, that got to get up and figure this out every single day like me, is just, it's mind-blowing. And I'm glad people are like talking about it so other people are talking about it. Because we all go, man, regardless, we may not all been to that brink, but we've all had that day. We've all had that moment.
You don't
like,
feel, you know, you don't see,
man, we all go, life tough, man. Yeah. Come on, let's be real, life tough. But we figure it out. But everybody ain't got the same coping mechanism. But everybody, you know, we fail, we rise, but it's some of us that are stronger than other ones. But you know, we all go through it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Detroit.
I was somewhere. I know I was at Kaiser, and I was going to an appointment, and I had gone into the restroom, and it was this girl that I heard, like, in the bathroom stall. Like, I just heard, like, sniffing, like, you know, like she was crying or whatever. And then I was like, because I had just came off the training, or part of the training since I left early. And I was like, okay, I should check in with this person to see how they're doing. What's crazy is, though, because sometimes when I'm crying, like, I really don't want to be bothered. Like, I guess you don't want to be bothered because you don't want, like, to have to open up that space. But, I mean, it actually is nice if somebody does kind of take notice or whatever. So anyway, I said, okay, let me finish up what I'm doing, and then I'm going to check in just to see if she's okay, you know. Because I didn't want to be that person, again, that crossed her path.
Yeah.
And didn't say anything. So, you know, I just, after I was done, I said, excuse me, like, are you okay or whatever? And then she was like, no, I'm fine. And then she just kind of, like, finished up. And then I was like, all right, well, whatever it is, I pray that it gets better for you, you know. And then I just, you know, left out of the bathroom. And then she actually kind of came out after I'd asked her that. Maybe she was like, okay, let me hurry up and get out of here so nobody else hears me. But hopefully, you know, prayerfully, you know, she's all right, and, you know, the situation is good. But it was just kind of those things that kind of bring awareness to you, that open up your eyes, so that, again, when you have those opportunities and those moments, that you don't, you know, let them pass, but that you actually do, you know, take the time to, you know, check in on people, even people you don't know, because I didn't know her.
Yeah.
You know,
I used to deal with 5150s at Kaiser, and it was so hard because I can't talk to them like that to see, you know, how they're doing. So it's heartbreaking to see people in that state of mind, especially, you know, you can't help them. But, you know, piggyback what we were talking about earlier, it is good to reach out to someone to say, how are you? How you doing? Are you okay? Because I think that does make a major impact and a big impact.
Definitely. I try to send positive vibes through social media. Do you feel like there's a lot of people that are studies that come out, and it's this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out, all that stuff. Like, how does social media play a part? Like, the people, even the young people, if you talk to them, do they feel like, they say that it heightens people's depression because of, like, they're able to see certain things, or see friends at places that they wish they were there, or they, you know, like, if everybody
Absolutely.
from the, you know what I'm saying?
It is a, I mean, you know, this generation has a lot more to deal with than our generation, for
Definitely.
sure. I mean, so many different things, the cyberbullying, you can't get rest, you know, because you know, it's in the DM, it's in your, I mean, it's just, you can't get away from
it. And even a fight, like, even, you know, an old school fight, even if you get beat up, it's like, all right, only people at your school that was even there pretty much seen it.
Sees you
now somebody walk up to you with a camera phone, and then they put it on World Star, especially if you get really knocked out. It's like, I see why people retaliate, because it's like, look, it's bad enough you lose a fight. It's like, you ain't gonna put me on the internet and then share it with everybody. Like, oh, now I gotta put you on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot to compete with. You know, and I think that's what we have. It makes us try to be more individual, if anything, like how many followers we have, how many, and it takes away from the essence of what it's all about. And it's about, you know, community. It's about coming together. It's about, you know, moving forward,
human interaction.
And it takes away from all those different things, and we go so far away, and we try to figure out, well, how do we get back to the normal? Let's get back to the simple things, you know. Hey, how are you doing? Is everything okay? You know, things like that, and checking on people. I mean, little things like that, they do work. They mean the most to people, you know. It doesn't matter about followers. We try to make things like that,
especially the young ones too.
Oh yeah,
it's sad to see how young it starts off at. It's very sad to see how young, and hearing the stories about the young ones that are trying, you know, struggling with this problem and everything. So I think it's very important to reach out to the young people too, and ask them how they're doing too.
Yeah, they're searching. Yeah. They're searching. You know, they're searching. They're trying to figure it out. And it's our job.
It's really heavy. So, in education, right, part of some of the trainings that they have or require for some of us to do is suicidal ideation, and how to literally, if there's what we call code C's, and that's someone who believes or basically saying that they would take their own life, a whole process that we would, have to go through. And, sometimes as educators, we're like, the closest people to, the children, because we see them the most amount of time in the day. And to have to kind of put yourself aside to see about, this young person, and then feel empowered enough that I can have this conversation with this person to hopefully turn it around and not make it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people don't necessarily want to even begin to cross, that bridge, no pun intended, but they don't want to do that because it's so much fear even in that, because I can say the wrong thing, or I may make the person more upset, or I don't want to give them ideas about something that they weren't actually thinking, because one of the things that they do in the training is they tell you to, flat out, like, you have to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to ask a question because you can't dance around it. Are you, do you want to take your life? Have you thought about it? What would you do if you did? You know what I mean? Like, and to go through that process, and even in the training, it's super heavy anyway, because they make you role play and just all this stuff. Like, here's the scenario. Now, go. What would you say to this person? And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Like, this is a lot, because not only are you in the midst of, make or break in somebody's life, it also scratches up a lot of stuff for yourself. Yeah. So then if you're not okay together, then you might, you know what I mean, at the same time, be going down that same road, because now you done scratched up some stuff that was buried inside of you, and you got to deal with that too. And so it really is like a heavy, you know what I mean, deep situation. But it's one of those things where it's just kind of like you have to put all that to the side and just, think about, okay, what is this person dealing with? What are they going through? How can I help? Because I've had those conversations with students, and and you have to have the time, because I can sit in the office with a student for hours. Yeah. You know what I mean? Talking about different things and just asking questions. And really, like you said, it's one, wanting to be heard, and then reminding them, or if not reminding them, giving them value and telling them about the things that all the things that they have to live for. Yeah. And I know you were kind of, Charles, asking about, like, I think you were kind of asking about, like, how you could prevent it or stop it or whatever. But, like, some of the things that they say, like, there are signs, like, so when you are, when you see people doing certain things, for example, they start, maybe, this is probably for older people, if they start, like, getting rid of their things, or they start taking less care of themselves, or maybe some people start that if they weren't really, like, abusing certain, drugs or alcohol, they begin to, abuse a little bit more, or their patterns kind of change. But I know one of the things that it was just kind of like when people start, like, selling their stuff, like, just randomly, like as if they're like, I'm about to go somewhere and I'm not going to need this anymore, or they start giving it away, and you're like, wait a minute, those are the Jordans you always loved. Like, what's going on here? Like, that's when you start asking questions. When people, because everybody has a pattern. So when people's pattern begins to change, whether they're, suicidal or not, that's when you start asking questions to inquire about people. Because it's like, wait, hold up. Because you used to love this place. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. My dad is struggling with mental health. He bipolar. Yeah. And so he's like, and something I noticed that I like when he got diagnosed bipolar, he was basically it's like he goes up and down, obviously, but it's just like basically when he doesn't take his medication, it's like uncontrollable in the sense that it's like I end up. What I realize is that the justice system and the justice system is so like basically messed up, where it's like they don't really know how to properly treat mental health. No, you know what I'm saying? So
if you're black,
I guess if you're black, you could say that, but that's could be an added thing. But I think that once you become a criminal, so if he's like not off his meds and he does like steal something from the store or do some even minor things, right? It goes from like me saying like, hey, this guy's off his medication. Like, could you do a 72-hour hold to get him back on his medication or something of that nature so that we can get him to a better place. And then it becomes a situation where they're like, oh, no, we can't do anything. He told us, they asked like, oh, who's the president of the United States? And what's the year or something basic like that. And then they're like, oh, well, hey, you know, he said, he said these basic questions, so it's nothing we could do. And then he steals something from the store. Then they lock him up. They lock him up. Oh, well, I see that he's bipolar. I see he's on this medication. So I see that he needs to go to this type of lockup. Oh, he's a veteran, so he can go to this program, and we'll do this. And so it's like all of a sudden the ball just all of a sudden just like goes. It's like, why couldn't y'all do that before locking him up into the criminal justice system? But it's like so it's like, well, I guess they couldn't get the same money off of.
Yeah, it's a big, that's the business.
The business side of it. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, so that's something that I've been observing with the mental health side of things myself, where it's like, wow, like this is a business. This is it's a criminal justice. You know, it's like a criminal. Like literally, once you become a criminal, then they're willing to help the situation. But if it's non-criminal, it's like my hands are tied. I can't do anything. And so, even for you in your case, like, was there ever a situation like in that scenario? Did they pursue you criminally at all, or was it more so just like a mental health thing, or how does that work?
It's mostly just a mental health thing. I never really. It's not I'm just now learning how the law works for so many different places because. I just got into the mental health world in 2013, and I just started learning all these different things, and the more and more I learn, the more I see of how things are so messed up.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes absolutely no sense that how the judicial system plays a huge significant role in the mental health system, but they don't tie the two together, but they still are forced to deal with each other. It makes you separate them, but they're the same. People do things that cause them to go to jail because of how they feel on the inside. Like it doesn't. It's not. You can't separate it. It's the same. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's the cause and effect of it. But they don't look at it. We just deal with the effect. We don't deal with the cause. And I think that until we go back and roll back and deal with the cause, then we start to see. Okay, this is what really mental health is. Okay, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Why did he feel like he needed to go to the bank and rob it? Why did he feel like he needed to do this? Why?
Yeah.
Where's the why?
What was going
we deal
on?
with the he did it.
He did it.
We put him in there, and we didn't know why, and the problem never gets fixed. Now he's behind bars for however many years, and he gets out and still deals with the same issues, the same problems. Now those problems go to the next generation of kids, the next family member, and it just keeps going on. It's like, well, when do we stop it? When does it end?
And I think. And I'm just going to go out on a limb on this because right now I'm the only woman right now, and I'm surrounded by men.
No, there's other women in the room.
I'm the only woman with a microphone in front of my mouth, okay? So what I would like to say is that because oftentimes I don't feel like black men specifically hold. Yes, here I go.
I was waiting for this one.
Black men, accountable and then like look out for their brethren, being their brother's keeper is what I really want to say, because I feel like and I'm not talking to you, Detroit, Mr. Breathe Heavy in the microphone, but
you've been extra quiet today. What's going on with you, man?
But just seeing your brother, you know what I mean, kind of like making a lot of bad decisions or like hitting rock bottom or just going on the road to destruction and not really saying anything. And some of the things I've heard, just specifically when it came to my own situation with my husband, it was just kind of like I'm reaching out to his friends like, look, I believe this X, Y, and Z is going on. I don't know if you've noticed anything. Like, no, I haven't really noticed anything. Like, are you not checking for your homeboy or your partner or whatever?
Well,
like, are your eyes open?
They
because
know, but what type of
I'm going to only reach out to the close friend because.
But I'm saying they saying they all right. So they're close friends with him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're
So
not
what they
gonna-
telling
so
you
they're not gonna.
is different.
Yeah.
So every day they could be like, "Hey, Charles." Charles could be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
Detroit."
don't put me in this mess.
Charles could be like, "Hey, Detroit, you fucking up." You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this shit's horrible. And then you call Charles like, "Hey, you talking? Hey, look, I ain't noticed nothing at all." You know what I'm saying? Like, he good. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna put you at alert.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's a homeboy.
But
The homie is supposed to tell.
No,
the
it doesn't.
homeboy,
You don't have
know.
to. You don't have to put me at alert because I'm already at alert. I
Right.
already know what the
But that
situation
doesn't mean that
is.
he's gonna.
Yeah, it
he's
don't mean
still.
that
That's
he
still
is
not
not.
gonna
But-
break rank and be like,
but
yeah, all right.
okay,
So look, this was going on.
Listen to,
Woo,
but
woo,
just
woo.
I just want you to be honest. Okay, if you're
With you.
the saint friend, you know what I'm saying, then continue on. You know what I mean? Continue being your brother's keeper because that's basically what I'm saying. But the reality is, and because I've talked to men, right, who have said that it's a lack in the black community, especially amongst black men, not being honest with one another to the point where you can really be accountable and be your brother's keeper in that sense. That because of that, now, right, there's this, because it's easier, I'm sure, for a man to go and open up and pour his heart to a woman. Because, I mean, that's kind of like why we're, great, friends and things for
Listeners.
men anyway. Because, you know what I mean, we're able to be that listening ear minded. Because, like you said, growing up in Oakland, you share that with your partner, and he like, man, if you don't get out of here and, whatever might be the response. But, like, it's just not enough, I guess, love and accountability and keeping one another, black men keeping one another accountable and holding each other up and just supporting in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
You want to respond to
Go
Sean?
ahead. I'll let you know.
All right. So
How, Sway?
Dig, it's just a call.
no. It's not about a dig, but it's about understanding what reality kind of is. You know what I'm saying? As a general population, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of women stopping other women doing certain things if they don't know them. And I think to a certain extent, what you're talking about is everybody's being everybody's brother's keeper as
I'm
a
more
population.
so for your close friends.
But even in close,
Iguodala just got traded to the Grizzlies, man.
of course, what you thought? You think he thought he was gonna go on national public TV
See,
and
this is why
and
y'all
say
can't
what
be
he
each
was gonna
other's
say?
keepers because y'all
You
easily
kidding me?
distracted.
Look,
kidding me?
Look. There's no way in heck he was
Your
gonna
homie
slander.
could be in a time of crisis and you
Well,
alerted about the
we
Grizzlies.
got D'Angelo Russell.
Who was we?
Really?
What do you mean we? Who's we? Look, hey, there's a lot going on right now.
Wait,
There's a lot going on.
time out. Who is we?
What?
I'm sorry, wait a second. There's a lot going on right now. I'm serious. We got
D'Angelo Russell.
Oh
D'Angelo
my
Russell
God.
for Kevin
Okay.
Durant. What is this?
Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, whatever.
All right, Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
but
well, at
this
least we
is
know
crazy.
y'all ball movement is still gonna stop. But anyway, so
Oh snap!
but look.
Sheesh.
But real spit. So even with the truest people, you know what I'm saying? Like even with the truest homeboys, what's said in confidence is not necessarily gonna be a national decree of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to some of your truest homeboys and they will tell you. You know what I'm saying? But more times than not, yeah, you are right that I'm more comfortable with telling a woman estrogen because she's gonna be more comforting. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna act toward or give me what the empathy that I need. You know what I'm saying? Not that a guy won't give me empathy. He might give me tough love, whatever the case may be. But
He
more,
might be telling. I was just gonna say he might be telling the real.
yeah.
The thing is,
that's what I'm saying.
what you might hear from the homeboy is not what he's telling.
Right, and
him.
it
You get
never
what I'm
really is. You know what I'm saying? It's never really like that.
Like
You
he
know,
might
as
be
he says,
telling him, "Hey, bro, that ain't."
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's-
you kind of wilding out, bro.
case in
But at the same time, if you come at the homeboy that you know is his homeboy, he gonna be like, oh, really? Oh, that's what he doing? Oh, that's crazy. Even
Yeah.
though he kind of know, but it's like at the same time, it's like y'all at a different level because that's your husband. You feel me? Y'all married, so at the same time, it's when you marry, it's not just like y'all dating and testing
But
it out the waters. Y'all got like real. It's like a real
But
situation.
it's not even.
So
It's
you
not
don't
even
wanna
just
put
when
your
you.
whole-
It's not even just when you marry. Is I'm gonna do my duty as a civil person, as your friend, and I'm gonna tell you what I need to tell you. Now, from that point on, you're a man. You know what I'm saying? You're a man. You know what I'm saying? So I've told several of my homeboys over the course of the years, like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's look, bro, you don't understand.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z is going on. This is what.
And he might be hearing
like
some
this.
others. He might be hearing a whole
Yeah,
different
but
side of the story too.
I don't think you guys are.
But I
my
do.
question.
No, we're not. But we are because from the same.
We're not giving you what you want. We're telling what you need to hear.
From vice versa.
No, y'all telling each other what y'all tell each other.
No.
And
that's
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm giving you the game. You don't like the game, but I'm giving you the game.
From being the fly on the wall, on the opposite from the opposing sex, from the gender. You know what I'm saying? Watching a woman, been around plenty of women that have said, "Bitch, what are you doing?" And she get to talking recklessly and stupid. But because they can understand from a standpoint of where they felt the same, all of a sudden now they're all in conjunction together like, okay, yeah, well, I understand. Okay, go ahead. Now, mind you, they started off telling her exactly what it is. The problem was, like, questioning, what are you doing? But she said some stuff about a nigga. Mind you, their overall grandstanding opinion of the dude is that he's good. They said something. They ran with it. Forgetting like, that what you're doing initially is stupid.
A little bit more direct because I'm getting lost a little bit.
Point is, she out whatever, hitting them, being drunk in the club, whatever the case may be, about to take somebody home. Hey, girl, what are you doing? You got a good man at home. Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying. And none of her butts are actually worth what she's doing. But because they've been in that position, you know what I'm saying. At one point in time, they allowed her to run with it and sided with her. Now, here's the funny thing: walking away from her. Right now, this is what tripped me out. Walking away after egging her on, like, yeah, girl, I understand. Walking away, like, yeah, but she's stupid. I wouldn't do it because that nigga, that's a good man over there. I wish I had half the man. I just watched you egg her on and agree with everything that she had to go on.
I'm talking about men.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
Detroit, but you love going.
Here's my point, because I said from our point from the jump was that we do tell each other what's going on. But your your point from where your example of about your husband, particularly, I know for a fact people told him you tripping.
Close,
yeah, I know
but I'm not talking about you tripping.
You said hold us accountable. You said men got to hold other men accountable, right?
His behavior, like as far as how it affects the marriage, like with me. I'm not even talking about that. I don't care about that part. That's what I was literally. That was the conversation I was having with his friend. I don't care about the marriage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your friend that's literally headed for self-destruction. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about the well-being of somebody that you call your brother that is going down a road that is not in a good place.
All of that encompasses.
Yes. It has nothing to do with the relationship or him.
I'm saying away from you. That part is easy.
But so
the hardest thing to do is with a woman.
So what I'm saying is the response, just in this particular situation, which is not every situation, but what happens is you have somebody who's like, well, I can't tell him nothing or whatever, so I'm not. So I don't. Or, you know what I mean? He's not going to listen anyway. But it's like, who cares about any of that? Because at the end of the day, anybody who is going down a road, you can't just be like, tap, tap, like, oh, you good? Okay. You said you good. I'm going to leave you alone. Like, no, they need more than that.
Can I just chime in for
That's
real
just
quick?
coach speak.
Just say this, like, I didn't go into all the details of my dad's situation, but he's, like I said, he's dealing with mental health, bipolar. You don't take his medicine. Like, literally, this is my father, and people be calling me, yo, your dad over here tripping. You need to come get him. Woo, woo, woo. That's your dad. If that was my dad, I'll be over here. Woo. So, like, sometimes, like, at some points, you damn near just be like, look, I did everything I can do.
You let them hit their head.
I did everything I can do. And the only thing that can happen in this situation, that person can pull me down with them. You know what I'm saying? Or put me in a vulnerable situation.
If you've done that work,
so that's what I'm saying.
You can wash your hands of that.
There are people that's gonna be close as can be, father, brother, sister, uncle, whatever. And certain people, if they going down a certain road and that's the road that they're choosing to go down, it ain't. Yeah, that might be their tight friend. Yeah, that might be your father. Yeah, that might be your brother. That might be your sister. But at the same time,
it is what it is.
You have a. It's called
self-preservation.
Self-preservation. I have a right to live. I have a right to well-being. You know what I'm saying? I have a right to not be in vulnerable situations. And so, yeah, you pull people out of the situation, put them in the headlock, whatever. But at the same time, at some point, you just like, look, I can't dedicate my life to chasing you around L.A.
And
you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
I'm definitely not saying that at all in the least. What I'm saying is that you said you that's your father, so you checked in, you did your part, you whatever. I'm really talking about people who don't know, or they don't notice because they're too wrapped up in maybe what they have going on or whatever. Because my question to him was really just about, have you noticed a change? Do you see what's going on? If you don't, open your eyes and look, because your brother is going down. Not has nothing to do with him and his behavior in my relationship. I'm not like, talk to him so he can get cool, so he can. No, it had nothing to do. It was literally about something's wrong with him. Not like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, he's going through. You might want to check in on your homie. If you checked in, then great, you did your part. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make sure that you're aware, because there are not enough people around this person. You know what I mean? That care about the well-being, that will say something, because a lot of times people are surrounded by, whether they're yes people or whether they're like, I don't really care because we don't have that type of relationship anyway. And that is more of what I'm talking about is the problem. If you got close homies and you talk about that stuff and y'all got the relationship, then that's great, because you have great, loving, supportive people in your corner. But if we're real about it, and the people who are dealing with a lot of things, it's because you don't have that. You don't have that support system. You don't have those people that are really like, look, you need to get it together. It's more the people that's like, yeah, let's turn up. Get lit. But, like, whatever it is, what it is. You know what I mean? Not necessarily taking
you're right, but the majority, it's impossible. Nobody has to study behavioral psychology to understand a change in behavior. Just if you two right now just hung out for 3 weeks straight, and then that fourth week you change, he's gonna notice. Like, it's obvious. So, but sometimes we don't necessarily want to have that conversation with you because of what the depth of it where it can go. Case in point, you guys are Warrior fans. They talked about how Kevin Durant surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men, and what he needed to. He got a second opinion and a third opinion on his calves. They said he alienated everybody told him, no, don't play on that calf, because he had those opinions that said no, the professional opinions and those otherwise, but then surrounded him with those that
he wanted to hear what he wanted to hear.
He wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. You
and
know what I'm saying?
If you was telling him, and that's a mental health issue. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said,
no doubt.
Bro, like I tell you, bro, nobody knows here more than what I did, what I had to go through. But you're gonna find those yes men. I don't care if you a bum on the street. I promise you, walk down the street, you're gonna find some other bums that's gonna agree with you and going through whatever. You know what I'm saying? No matter how low you go, you can go as low as it low can be, and you can find people that's like, yeah, they shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? It's
easy to talk about what.
But it's about who you love,
or
though.
Whatever. I'm just saying that's more of like.
And especially how you explain the situation, because he might be explaining it differently. Whatever I'm saying, he's explaining his side,
vigilant and watchful and aware and just concerned, because what you're telling me, I don't feel like is real, because a lot of people are not concerned. Because if you go through your Rolodex of the people that you know or that you communicate with or whatever, how many of them have you really checked in on and saw if they were cool or if they were good or if they were whatever? Probably not that many of them. And a hi and how you doing and a whatever or a like or whatever post or whatever on social media,
prayer
or
hands,
through a phone
that don't help.
Prayer hands.
That's my
when
thing.
people be on there like, oh, pray for me, I'm about to do this. You probably don't say the prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
it's
my
just,
prayer.
The reality is that we don't do it. So I'm asking not to question. I mean, I guess I am in a way, only with myself. Anything I'm asking, I'm going to think about like maybe I need to be more aware, because at the end of the day, if you feel like I could have done more, then that means next time do more. And if you've exhausted your resources and you've done all you feel that you can, then you've done your work and you can go on. You can say and you can rest easy and have peace that I did my part. I tried or whatever, or I checked on this person or whatever the case may be. But if you didn't, and that's kind of more what I'm talking about, which we know we have more people who are not doing, then
what's up with you?
That would be the time to do those things.
Well, all I'm saying is none of that still necessarily has an impact on the public opinion given, based on who it was.
Because women do more checking in with women, and I know that's not a thing that men do, but it's needful. That's
No.
I'm saying.
So to that point, yes. But what I'm saying is, it's almost like I can talk bad and beat my sister up or whatever, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a matter of public opinion, you know, it could be my best friend. Like, you know, with Shawnee, you know what I'm saying? I could be telling him, you know, you effing up, woo. But then if somebody asks me about something, and if the truth will stain his image, I'm only gonna give you so much. Like, well, no, I might either dodge, whatever. No, it's cool, whatever.
We
you know what I'm saying?
figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? if your sister all of a sudden just start posting random stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, and you know the truth, you know how deep and bad it is. I can, hey, what's up with your sister? You know she good. You know what I'm saying? You know, she going through some things, but you know I got her. Woo. That's not telling me the depths of what it is, because the depths of what it is could be far beyond what I actually need to know, because you don't want to cause irreparable damage to her name.
But I really don't even need to know, Detroit. It's just a matter if you're doing it.
No. Right. But what I'm saying is, when you say she's good, I don't know if you're doing it. I'm just taking you at face value. Although I understand that you really are probably deeper than actually the face value
but
that
I'm
you're
also
giving
not
me.
going to hound him about it. If he tell me, like, oh, I said this or I checked in, my job was only like, look, he not hearing nothing else from me. So maybe somebody else can say something. So look, have you checked on your homeboy? If you have, great. If you haven't, try it. That was literally
that's a great message. I agree.
Gist of what it was.
Can't argue with the logic there.
I hear you.
And is that's fair to say?
I mean, I think that I hear what you're saying. I get, and I hear what you're saying too. I get it on both, because you got both two strong, like, you know, understandings of, you know, the woman understanding and the man understanding. But to bring both of them together, we still have to do more. But we still got to create a dynamic of understanding that where it started. Why do men feel
right?
Why are we not we're not comfortable if I'm sitting down to you and I know my world is falling apart? Why am I not comfortable saying, you know what, man, I done messed up, make some bad decisions, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. Why does what you feel about how I feel got going on? Why was that distort that image, and why do I not feel comfortable enough to telling you that?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Are you more comfortable now?
Absolutely.
And you know what I find, because I wasn't always necessarily like an open book. Like, oh, I'm about to tell you this. And even with my situation, you don't know what my situation is, but anyway, I'm separated from my husband, and a whole lot of stuff is going on. But even when I would talk to different people, with medical stuff going on, I found that after like having my baby and a lot of stuff just didn't matter anymore. Like when you get to a certain point, and then it's just kind of like, I don't care about sharing. I don't care about talking to different people. Like, it's not like
you know why? Because you change shit on a daily basis. Like, it doesn't get any worse than me having to change.
It has nothing to do with her poopy diapers.
I know, okay? I know, but I'm just saying.
But no, it actually has more to do with me having her and her coming out of my vagina, and that's not feeling
wow,
good.
That's
okay?
pretty graphic.
Okay? That'll change your life.
I would imagine so. That's a game changer right there.
To me, along with that, being sick will change your life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know what? I was near death, or I thought I was. Whatever the case was, I felt like I was dying. Fuck everything else you said you was about to, you know what I'm saying? Because you realized in that minute, like, this shit was all about to be over and nothing else mattered.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Period. All this shit that y'all talking about is minuscule to what life actually is about. Whatever the fuck you think that is, because you probably have never actually been through anything that of depth or had to carry a weight that I will, although everything is relative, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
To get to the point where I feel so deprecating and so demeaning to my own personal stuff that, or life, just put yourself in a situation like, you know what? Nothing actually matters but feeling good about you. Feeling good about life.
My prayer is that people actually get to the point, whether it is through whatever experience,
whatever
right,
means,
that they have, but that they're able to survive it. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess the thing or the conversation is really about those who don't get to survive it. Because I think once you kind of get to that point, and hopefully you learn the lesson and you find value, you get your purpose or whatever for life, that you're able to then, you know, do things differently versus, other than the way that you were doing them before. Mm-hmm. And it's like sometimes you have to get to a certain point. Like you said, you have to hit rock bottom, or you have to hit your head, or you have to whatever. It's just, I hope that you are able to survive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which comes with the old adage, keep on living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I talked to this girl the other day, and she was like, God, I'm about to turn 30 in 2 years, mind you. She was like, I'm about to turn 30 in 2 years. I don't want to do it. I said, well, you know what the alternative is, right? And she was like, what? I was like, you don't make it. And she was like, oh, that's not the positive. Well,
That's the
you know
real.
what I'm saying? But it's keep on living. You know what I'm saying? We never think about in terms of life is it when it comes to working out. When we work out, it burns, it hurts, you get tired. And then there's a point where you like, you know what, this feels good. I'm rejuvenated. I feel better because of what I did. If you run anything past the 100, the 200, the 400, you're tired. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some point, there's the second wind that kicks in. You know what I'm saying? You're depleted, and it's like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I feel better now. I'm stronger for even going through that. But we don't think about that when we're in a self-crisis. Like, you know, somebody's broken our heart. Like, this person was our everything, and to come back from that is impossible. But to think that, you know what, I will be so much more better for this if I'm to get through this, because there's not a pain in this world that doesn't make me stronger should I survive. And the majority of pain, unless dangerous, you know what I'm saying, isn't going to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Can we sorry to interrupt. Can we get some quick words? I want from Aaron. You know, we got. You ain't gonna give us a shout out. Skyline in the building. No radio. All right.
One. You from Oakland, apparently, two.
Town Biz
3.
in the building.
This man showed up at my church today. 4. That's maddening.
Yeah.
5. This is too many 510 area codes.
Yeah.
In one building.
So
Keith, please tell me you're from here. Praise Moses. Praise Moses. There is a guy.
Englewood up to no good.
So yeah, Akila, this is we ain't gonna be seeing you on the weekly basis, huh? For a minute. Yeah. So
you said for a minute.
For a minute.
I don't know. I don't know what's what's in the cards.
Gonna change.
No, I'm saying you gonna come back. I mean, you gotta come back every once in a while, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna pop in on y'all
every now and again. So
pop up.
I reached out to some people. You know what I'm saying? I even tried to get to your parents. It didn't work.
You got
That's hilarious. Is that why you're here?
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because it was your last day. But I do have something to read to you from your number one fan, if it's okay for me to read to it. So, dear Akila Trinae.
Oh, Lord.
I'm writing not only to congratulate you on your success in future endeavors, but to express my extreme gratitude for your contribution to your show. Your insightful commentary on intimacy is often delivered with a warm and tender endearment that is unparalleled, much like love. Over the many episodes, I have followed your intense magnification of relationship issues has in turn made my own awareness increase, heighten, and amplified. Pun intended. Miss Akila Trinae, you truly are the embodiment of love amplified. Thank you so much for being who you are and making such a difference in lives of so many. You will be missed. Sincerely, your number one fan.
Oh, that was so nice.
It was.
That's sweet, man. I don't have a poem, but yeah, definitely, you know, that's lit, you know, that you're moving on and doing your thing and you're keeping it pushing. And, you know, Love Amplified, Love Sessions podcast has been a real dope experience. And we got to just keep it lit, you know, because you always been, like, basically just a person that presented this whole podcast, you know, universe to me is essentially. And I think it's, like, something that I'm really happy that I was able to be a part of, and you reached out to me to be like a host or a guest, and then I was like, you know, got real passionate about it too. I'm like, this could be, I'm feeling it, you know what I'm saying? It's actually something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate you just even presenting that, and I think that, you know, we want to keep building on it and keep it going and keep the legacy going and keep the
well, y'all better, so then I can have something to show up to.
yeah. So it's important, but you know, I don't know. It's different. You know, it's just like the Warriors losing Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? And now we got to reconfigure some things. We got to find another KD.
I'm out for a season.
Yeah, you know, Achilles, Akila Trinae, Achilles.
Right.
Wow.
But, yeah. So that's that. And, you know what I'm saying? What everybody got going? Yeah, Reed.
Oh yeah, I got something to say. Well, that's the reason why I'm here. It's the bittersweet moments because I rocked with Tequila from day one.
Literally, huh?
Literally from the basement all the way up to the studio. Thank you for helping the vision come alive and pushing me creatively and doing things better and everything. And it's gonna be a major void not hearing your voice on the radio.
I'll just call y'all.
Was you listening? You was listening this whole time?
Well, you know what I mean. But
yeah.
He's trying to call you out.
Hey, y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? Read me and Reed got along. We go back to it. I gotta give it. Look, it's either gonna be Detroit or Reed.
Right,
I gotta
right.
I gotta
Somebody.
Boo, 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 boo.
Shots fired. Shots fired. You got something to say before I go?
Nah, go ahead, man. You good?
So I usually write a poem, which I didn't do this time because my original plans I called him during the week, and I wanted to clip a video for you of all the
random things I say.
Random things you say, our past episodes. But then it kind of ran, it was kind of contradiction because the majority of that footage was on another network. So
right.
There's a lot of self-titled promotion that wouldn't and whatnot. But nonetheless, I thought it'd be more fitting if I just spoke to you, you know what I'm saying, directly. And it seemed like just yesterday, which is about 6 years ago, I think, 7 years ago, where you showed up at the Broadcast Academy and you helped me out. And then
wow, do you still have that?
I do.
Oh, Lord.
Showed up at the Broadcast Academy and you helped me out. And then you told me about an idea presented by you in the conversation with in this man, which I thought was so fitting for him to be here for a radio station. And then from there in your basement, it just, took off. You know what I'm saying? And me and you went out to eat several times right down the street with the Roscoes. And, you just have many conversations. And over the time, the course ran around. You've been my phantom girlfriend, my phantom, love, you know what I'm saying? And, to the actual tangible co-host.
Halfway.
You know what I'm saying?
Halfway.
And so if there's a such thing, if this was our home, and, they say the woman is the backbone of every home, you've definitely been the backbone of the show. You've been a confidant. You've been a great friend. Speaking of people, true to your words about you tripping, I've noticed this change. If I was drinking too much, if I came in here, telling her I'm on these many meds, and she said, well, if you telling me this, you shouldn't be doing that. To being upset, having many 2-3 hour late night conversations going away home. I remember having conversations, you telling you like, man, every time I talk to you, I feel like I learned something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deep to me. I've never been able to have that. You know what I'm saying? To seeing you grow into wanting to be married, to actually becoming married. You know what I'm saying? And granted, it's at a situation where it dissolved. You know what I'm saying? But our what we wanted to do in life since we've gotten this was just to open a conversation, have a forum, and to put ourselves in position to be married. And I remember when we were struggling, both of us in our relationship, and I said, and you called me, and I was living downtown, and what's the documentary that came out, Black Love? Mm-hmm. And you was like, you know what? I'm ready to. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, well, me neither. But you like, well, you can't give up, and I'm like, well, I can't get up. We're supposed to have all the answers. And then you're like, but this Black Love documentary is messing me up because everybody seems to be going through this. And then months later, you end up married. You know what I'm saying? Goal accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And
we can hear the clap now.
and regardless of whatever that is.
Keith, shout out to Keith for good news.
You know what I'm saying?
He had to, train me up a little bit.
But you've definitely been a godsend to me, and I'm sure everybody that you have presence you've graced in your life. You know what I'm saying? And as a friend and as a person, like, I love who you are, what you stand for, your passion for people, your passion for the truth. You know what I'm saying? You never have lacked the truth. You know what I'm saying? Even when you got your most mad at me, and you was coming at my throat in the parking lot.
I still need to figure that out. Like,
You know
what the heck happened? Because you always talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? It was
a bad situation.
You know what I'm saying?
I was about to chunk him.
I knew.
He said chunk him. Wow.
Y'all ain't talking about. Y'all ain't talking about.
95?
Y'all ain't talking
Right.
about chunking him.
That part.
Y'all ain't talking about chunking him.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I still couldn't get too mad, because at the end of the day, you were speaking your truth and the truth, and I knew you were just coming from a place. I mean, I knew you were
really
here
from
sure.
out and out. Cause I'm really from out and out. Cause I'm really from out and out. Cause I'm really from out and out.
You know what I'm saying? And only for
Why
you,
is it-
and only for you. Shout out to the Bay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Only.
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
All day.
you're by far the
East
best
Oakland.
person that they've created, Skyline and all them, with whoever. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty. They've turned out a few average folk or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. You rock with the greatest of them. And for me personally, you know what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be all of who I am without some of your opinions. And I know I can always pick up the phone and call you. You know what I'm saying. And you were referred to me. You know what I'm saying, from a friend, through a best friend. You know what I'm saying. And you've been nothing short of everything that he said about you.
Stop talking
and
before I
more.
get emotional. Just
You know what I'm saying.
in.
Point is,
I don't like.
You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
like this at all.
no, point is, the show won't be the same without you. You know what I'm saying? I won't be the same without you.
I'm gonna distract
You know what I'm saying? As much as I can talk and go on and on and on.
Question?
You know what I'm saying? The show isn't the same without me to get mad at you. You know what I'm saying? To call you silly and stupid about your opinions. What are you really thinking? But more importantly, I think the greatest thing you can say about somebody is potential and growth. You know what I'm saying? And the greatest thing a person can do is progress based on potential. I'm a football coach, and potential just stands for ain't done shit yet. You know what I'm saying? So when I meet somebody that has grave potential, and they've done so many things since that, and they've grown, and more importantly, you know, for a person, and then just say, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And to be so monumentally different, because a lot of us are stuck in our ways because, you know what I'm saying, this is what we believe or whatever, but that's never been the case about you. You know what I'm saying? It's, I believe this, I stay fans, and if you got her on your team, you got the best you got the best cheerleader you can ever have. You know what I'm saying? But on the same note, she also doesn't mind coming from somewhere, you know what I'm saying, where she's like, you know what, I'm wrong, and that's growth. And she's definitely grown from a
Charles
person
so
that's just been.
disrespectful.
Oh, that was it. Look, I didn't even know what that was gonna say.
That's the only reason why I'm not mad. 'Cause I firmly believe you didn't know what the hell you know what I'm saying.
No,
But you know what I'm saying, just from a person to be like, you know what, I'm here and I'm there, and she's from A past to Z. I know you can do great things in San Francisco, and you know anybody that gets you back in Oakland, your hometown, they're gonna love to have you. I hope you come back. I'm gonna say I can't wait till you come back, because we're gonna miss you. I hope you call in, and
I'll call in.
you know what I'm saying, anytime you know I'm talking stupid or reckless, you know what I'm saying, feel free to call in.
I'm talking for a heck of a long time.
You know what I'm saying?
Really,
Doing my best
bro.
impersonation of Charles.
Come
You know what I'm saying?
on, man.
You know, it is what it is. But from, you know, Dontrell Detroit loves you. You know what I'm saying? He misses you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to miss you. You know what I'm saying? And I thank you for who you've been to me, who you've been to us, and who you've been to the world. You know what I'm saying? You have so many fans, so many men that like you. So many men that just want to be next to you, but you like, hey, man, hook me up with your co-host. Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? We got haters in the building, but it is what it is. But you know what? Usually I would cut it off, but you're worth every accolade that there is. So thank you. I appreciate you and love you dearly, sis. You know what I'm saying? I hope you go. I know you're going to do great things.
This is real. Shout out. This is what today is about. It's about, you know, all of us who, you know, we might have had some minds playing tricks on them at one point. Shout out to Charlamagne and his book, Charlamagne's Mind Playing Anxiety. You know, talks about anxiety, mind playing tricks on me. Killer Trinae, you want to give us some last words?
That was the music you playing.
You don't like that?
I
It's a
mean,
Ghetto Boys track. It's
you
lit.
could just play it after
Alright.
she talks.
It's kind of loud, you know.
All right, I was
It
trying
is
to turn it
big.
down some, but
Okay.
I couldn't.
Well, I've appreciated the time. Yes, it has been since 2013 doing the show. And I really just want to give a major shout out to Keith who is in the building with good news.
Shout
I met Keith through my job, and he's been like, so I love genuine people, like people who are honest and genuine, who are about truth and doing good things, and Keith is absolutely that. And so to be able to be connected through good news, and I pray that you all are going to continue on with Love Amplified, but like what he's doing here at Good News, creating an opportunity, a platform for different shows and just people who are like really about their business and really about growing and staying true to his vision. I think that that's super duper dope. So I'm like excited about not leaving that, this will all crumble or anything like that, because I'm hoping and praying that it won't. But I'm just excited about what he's doing and with Good News, and just hoping that the good news will continue to spread, and that I've enjoyed the time. And it will be a void for me, because I just love coming here on Sundays and what used to be Mondays to talk about relationships, because at the end of the day, like, I'm really about people having solid, honest, loving relationships, specifically with the Black community, because I know that that's where well, I'm Black, so I get my people. But I mean, I just feel like, we struggle there, and I don't want to continue to have certain narratives. I want to be able to have, Charles, that narrative. I mean, changing the narrative about Black men don't cheat. Like, that's a thing. Like, Black women are like, yeah, Black men are amazing. Like, Black men are saying, like, Black women are queens and they're awesome and I love them more than anything else in this whole entire world. Like, I would love for that to be a thing. So, the work will continue. I guess the marathon continues too.
Yeah.
TMC.
Amen.
All right. So where do we go from here? Do I wrap it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the wrap up?
Kevin. The wrap up. Well, you don't wrap it up because you're married. But Kevin. Any last? If you have any last words to share.
I used to be scared of the dick.
First of all,
why would you play that when Kevin's supposed to talk?
I wasn't saying that, but it was.
Why would
late.
you play?
I'm trying to get my.
Well, we know what he's thinking you.
No.
We know. It's clear cut what he's
Charles
thinking you.
will not be engineering next week. I'm
Why
making
not?
the executive decision now.
I'm getting in my groove. Well,
Shout out.
That's your groove?
That's a crazy groove.
Shout out, Lil Kim. That's the old Kimberly that we love.
Right.
I don't know about that new Kimberly. But just on a serious note, man, we just thank you for the opportunity. It was good, just getting vibe and talking. Check on each other, man. Let's do good. Let's do a better job. Men talking about our problems, airing out our issues, and let's just create a platform we can just get better, just as a whole. That's just it. Let's just love each other.
That's what's up.
What's one key word of advice you would give to somebody just out there that may have somebody that they feel needs help or whatever, or just something that they could take away from?
You just got to keep reaching out to people, man. You can't give up on people. You gotta. It's hard when you're in a dark place, man. It's hard to relate to people. It's hard to reach people, but you just got to keep trying, man. It's harder when they're gone.
That is a fact.
All the things you wanted to say that you could have said, just keep trying. You got to keep trying. You got to figure it out. Like, find it in your heart. Like, we're built with compassion. We're built with love. We're built for this. We're built. I say we all are built first responders. We're all. Just rise up. You never know what to say, but just trust your heart, man. Trust who you are. Trust the nature of who you are as an individual. And like I say, we got it in us. You just got to trust it. Don't worry about what to say. Sometimes, it's going to be silent. Just be there for each other, man. We just got to get better just being there for each other, showing up for each other, man.
Be fearless.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's lit.
That's it.
That's the word of the day. All right. Now, what I want to do is do our drops for our sign-offs, just so I can be, official. But
As he's looking for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for it. But shout out to the movie I watched. Like I said, Toy Story 4. Kind of teared up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Great
it was,
movie.
Yeah, solid. So if y'all want to
You
go
saw
check
it
that
too?
out.
No, after Lotso, I couldn't. I haven't been able to watch Toy Story after Lotso.
Lotso.
After who?
What was that? Toy Story 2? Where Lotso the bear, when he kind of...
Oh,
Oh
he
my!
was
Wait,
shit.
have I not watched Toy Story? Jeez, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I was
I'm
like,
out
what
of
was
the
that,
Toy
Toy Story
Story
2?
I
loop.
think that was
need
3.
to-
That
was
was the
3?
last one.
I need
Well,
to
right.
catch up.
Was that 3? When Lotso almost killed.
They
said it was
what-
Yeah,
they said
yeah.
I was done. Yeah,
they
I
said
can't.
it was
I
3
can't.
over here.
Yeah, that was 3.
Yeah, I haven't been able.
And
I haven't
if
got
you
over.
do
it.
go see Toy Story 4, go to El Capitan Theater in Hollywood to go see it.
Oh yeah, I seen your
Yeah.
Instagram story.
Yes.
That gave me FOMO. But yeah, I went to the hood. Charlotte Rave Theater used to be Magic Johnson Theater.
That's
you know
your
what I'm
spot.
saying? A lot of crying kids, people yelling at each other, showing flashing lights in the theater. But you know, we got through it. But you know what I'm saying? It was all good.
Well, I'm gonna
That's
go
what's
watch
up.
Toy Story 1 through 3 so that
about
I
to say,
can
I'm-
watch 4.
I missed the boat. I seen 1 and 2, but
All right, y'all.
What up? It's King Marie.
Hey, what's going on? It's White Day.
Hi, my name is Raina Baby.
What's up? This is Shell Bailey.
Yo, peace. This is Ice Life.
I just have my love sessions.
I came down here from the Bay and came to Love Sessions. I had so much fun.
It was amazing. Tune in every Monday.
10 to midnight.
Be there, player.
Y'all keep it going, all right? Peace.
That was dope. So do you really
Yes.
do you
Say yes.
really want to?
Yes.
Yeah.